Welcome to Training Unleashed, the show that will help you design and deliver training that's off the chain and will make a difference. Now, here's your host, Evan Hackle.
Welcome to another exciting episode of Training Unleashed. Today, I am super excited because our guest, Brad Ballard, is an expert in transformational leadership. We talk a lot here about training, and we talk about skills, and we talk about improvements. Brad talks about transformation, and this is really a cool concept, and I'm not going to steal all his thunder like I love to do. But Brad, why don't you please give everyone just a quick overview of yourself?
Sure. Thank you, Evan. I'm honored to be on here. Yes, I have a background in business coaching and sports coaching, and then I went through some trainings and saw the power of transformation, transforming mindsets, and really fell in love with that and saw what that could do for people of all ages, all backgrounds, all levels of success, and fell in love with it and began my own company down in San Diego.
And that company is ALASandiego?
That is correct.
And your website is ALAsandiego.com?
That is correct.
Excellent. So I'm going to ask the obvious question. What is transformational training?
Yeah, transformational training, we focus on leadership and emotional intelligence. So we are looking at all of the things that hold us back in life, all of the fears, all of those little voices inside all of our heads that says, you can't do this, you won't succeed, what if you do succeed? Any of those things that stop everyone. And what we do is we take a strong look at those limiting beliefs and where did those start? And we go back to those and look at those and see how those limiting beliefs have been affecting your life up until this point. And we support people in breaking through those limiting beliefs, breaking through those fears so that they can live the life they ultimately want to live.
And so everyone knows, I've been through the program. Mm-hmm. I'm going through it now the second time, so I'm a major fan. And it's totally and completely different than everything I've ever done in training. And my 30-plus years in corporate training, as everyone knows, this is a training company, Total Training. And this is really revolutionary, and it's really kind of individualistic. Meaning that there is not something set to say that we're training everyone this way, we're helping everyone achieve breakthroughs. So maybe talk a little bit about what kind of training you do and the amount of interaction. I want to answer your questions because I know, and I just try to set it up. Explain what emotional training is and explain how this works.
Yeah, so what we do is, what makes us different is we have people in experiential exercises, and we use a variety of different techniques to get people in these emotional states. Because if you think about it, we don't intellectualize happy. We don't intellectualize sad. We don't decide, like, I think I'm going to be happy. A series of events happens to us, and we have a physiological reaction in the body, and then our brain determines that is, oh, I'm happy. So our trainings use that type of thinking, that type of model. We use a series of games, lectures, meditations, music, movement to elicit all types of feelings in the body because we all interpret our emotions differently. But it's the way that we interpret those emotions, the way that we interpret our world that ultimately affects our world. So we want to get people in that state so that we can work with those people in that state. So if you are a person that typically either shuts down in stress, or if you're a person that maybe you react angrily in stress situations, we want to get you in that state, in a real world state, so that we can almost in those moments when you get in that state say, all right, pause. Let your adult brain take over in this moment and say, do you want to react in the way that you typically react when you are in this state? What is that producing in your life? Is it producing the things that you want? Is it an effective way to get what you want? Or is reacting in this way what is preventing you from having those things that you want? And we have been very effective in finding and supporting people in getting in that state so they can realize, wow, this is why I do what I do, or this is what I do all the time, and I don't want to do that. And things such as fear, trust, confidence, courage, vulnerability, intimacy, any of these emotions that we all deal with that we weren't taught in high school and should have been. We support people in learning how to deal with those in an effective way to reach results.
Training Unleashed is brought to you by Tortal Training, specializing in e-learning and interactive online training solutions for corporate, government, nonprofit, and franchise organizations. Tortal makes effective training easier. Just go to tortal.net to gain access to real-world tools that can make a difference. That's tortal.net, Tortal, tortal.net.
So this is an interesting question, because from my perspective, I think everybody benefits from going through this training. I mean, literally, because having been through the training and watching people literally transform, and from my experience, what you see is people that are, literally not that happy, become happy with life. A spark, for me personally, massive spark, re-energized about life and what I wanted to do and what I wanted to accomplish. I just started to say, oh my God, my vision's so much bigger. What I can accomplish, my confidence went way up. But the question I'm going to ask is, because the people listening here generally are working in corporate training.
Yes.
Who should they send? How do they know who on their team would be the best people to go through your program?
I think the people listening may chuckle when I say this, but honestly, send everybody. Because everybody has that goal, that vision, that specific mission in life. And they all have an individual reason for doing whatever they do. And through life, the way life goes, all of us tend to, it seems to be, we start to lose why we do what we do. We lose that spark a little bit. And what our trainings have done and are effective at doing is bringing not only that spark back, but blowing up and turning that spark into a flame. So I imagine if you are a person running a company, you would want everyone on your team running at optimal levels, taking their 80% or their 90% and then turning it into 120%. And then imagine the relationships that would be built if people are interacting with each other at that level. People are simply way more interesting and way more fun to be with when they're excited, when they're happy, when they're driven, when they see goals and they want to go for them and they're hungry. Those are people that are really fun to be around. And if you're an organization and you have a team filled with those people, your organization is going to do very well.
Well, I will tell you, I am in the process of sending everyone through the company. And the first person I sent through was one of the smartest, brightest people you could ever imagine. But because she was so smart and so bright, she could be intimidating. And what she learned in this program was how to have that more gentle side, to be more vulnerable, to be more listening, to be more open, which made her hugely more effective. And I've sent people that are in our learning strategy team, which are the people that are out there working and helping develop business, and their connection, the ability to ask questions, to evoke and understand, improves business. So the ROI is huge. But I'm going to actually answer your question I asked you differently than you answered.
Great.
I will agree with you, you should send everybody. But I actually think you should start with your top performers. Because go ahead, tell them why the top performers would be best.
Typically, your top performers are your top performers because they have a level of people skills that most people don't. And they relate to people incredibly well. And what we have found is our training will take everybody who plugs in and dives in to that next level. And if you take somebody with a high level and a high performing and a high commitment level, take them to the next level, and theirs, success is going to be inevitable. It's going to be a natural byproduct.
Yeah, that's exactly right. The high people go to the next level of high, and that is incredibly high performing.
We're so glad you're listening to this episode of Training Unleashed, brought to you by Tortal Training. The difference between Tortal Training and other online training companies is we're primarily a training company with technology, rather than a technology company that does training. Want to find out more? Just go to tortal.net. That's Tortal, tortle.net.
Brad, I've got a ton more questions. Of course, we don't have a ton of time. So I'm going to end with this one question, which is just share a piece of advice, some knowledge that you can share with everyone listening, a tidbit, a tip that they can take back with them that could help them today in their business and help them in their lives.
It's a great question. I think for me, if I could give people the answer, it's there is no greater universal feeling than giving. When we give of ourselves, when we give something of our heart, give of our emotions, and people feel that. If you are a leader in this world, support others in the gift of giving. Show others how they can give of their unique values, of their unique personality. Let them know that what they have to offer as a human matters in this world. And when you can show others that not only it matters, that it lights other people up, their gift of them, when you can show people how to more effectively give of themselves in a bigger way, they will come back to you time and time again. And that's what I believe leadership is.
That's fantastic. That's a great tip. So how do people find your company? What's the process? What's the process like?
Yeah, certainly we have a website, like you mentioned, ALASandiego. That's a great way to find us. And feel free to reach out. There's a lot of questions because of our trainings are so different. It can be hard for people to wrap their head around what our training is. And we are happily able to answer those questions and really want to support everybody because we truly believe that there is a next level available for everybody who steps through the doors that wants to take this on and wants to get there.
Yeah. It is just really cool. I mean, when I was in the program, you've got athletes, you've got people that are actors, you've got people who are successful business people, and you literally have every walk of life. A lot of people that are committed to charity and helping the world. And no matter who you are and where you are, everyone gets a transformation. And the energy and excitement is just huge. I want to thank you very much for being on our show, and everyone have a fantastic day.
Thank you for having me, Alvin.
This has been Training Unleashed, but it doesn't stop here. Just go to trainingunleashed.net to subscribe to the show. That way, you'll never miss an episode, and you'll be well on your way to delivering training programs that are off the chain. We'll talk to you next time on Training Unleashed.